All right, let's go out now to Arlington, Texas, and we'll talk with Michael. Hey, Michael, you're on the air.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. My question is relating to backsliding. I have a brother who, grew up in the church and did all of the things, that we done, but we grew up in a very legalistic type of environment. I mean, I'm not anymore. I mean, through your books and other people, I'm like finally free in the grace message. But now he's, away in terms of a lot of stuff he's questioning about the Bible because now he's with an atheist. I don't know if that had any influence, but he's saying stuff like he believes in that people were born gay or the Bible is man-made. And now my mom and dad, they starting to think he lost his salvation, but I don't believe he lost his salvation. I believe he probably just lost focus on his first love.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just wondering in terms of is backsliding even, because I've never heard it in scriptures. I heard
Right.
backsliding, but not even a biblical statement in terms like that.
Well, not for New Testament, New Covenant Christians who are living under grace as God's children. It would make no sense for us to say that we've backslid to the point of losing our salvation. I mean, Paul talks about shipwrecking your faith. That means,
Right.
look, you're still in the ship and you're on a journey, but for a while there, you ended up on the shore and your ship is beached on the shore, and hey, let's get back out in the current and enjoy God's spirit and move forward in a great direction. So we all make foolish decisions, we all get tripped up. I mean, James says we all stumble in many
Right.
ways, but we don't stumble to losing our salvation. The idea that I mean, backslidden is not a really, it's not really a New Testament Christian word. It's just something, it's verbiage that we Christians have adopted in conservative culture. Oh, someone backslid. Why do you say that? Oh, they stopped going to church. Oh, someone backslid. Why do you say
Right.
that? Oh, they stopped reading their Bible. That sort of thing. Well, we're not saved by going to church and we're not saved by reading our Bibles. So the idea that we slide back implies that we're climbing up. I mean, if I climb up and then slide back, well, that would be true. There's backslidden people who were climbing, but the reality is we don't climb. I mean, I'm not climbing up to God. He climbed down to me in the person of Jesus. It's not about climbing up to God. It's about recognizing that God himself climbed down to us and met us as fully human and fully God in the person of Jesus. So, there's two possible explanations for your friend. And before we get into that, I just want to say to everyone out there, this is a very important question and a common question that we hear quite often. And the bottom line is we don't want to build theology on our friend. You never want to
Right.
build a belief system based on your friend's experience. So, I don't know your friend, you know your friend, but even you don't know your friend like God does. You can't see his heart. You don't know what was going on in his heart and mind for all those years. So I'm reminded, first of all, of 1 John chapter 2, verse 19. It says, they went out from us. They went out from among us because they were never
Right.
really part of us. So that's one possibility. It's very often that people are, into religion, they're into morality, they're into ethics. They think, oh, church is good. I can meet good people at church. I can hang out with nice people who think the teachings of Jesus are moral and ethical, and I can do good works and enjoy good relationships in church and in a church atmosphere. I mean, my dad was one of those people. He literally was invited by the pastor to stand up and give a testimony when he didn't even know the Lord yet. He wasn't saved. And so he got up in a conservative Baptist church 40, 50 years ago, and he gave a testimony in that conservative Baptist church in Northern Virginia. And when he was done, everyone stood up and applauded, and then he went and sat in his seat. Now, 20 minutes prior to that, my mom turned to him and said, uh, how you doing? And he said, well, I have no idea what I'm going to say. I have no idea what I'm going to say. And she said, well, you'll think of something. So, he didn't know Jesus from a hole in the wall. All he
Right.
was a conservative man who treasured family values, and that's what he stood up and talked about. Now, later he came to know Christ, and he looks back on that and sort of laughs at that situation. he looked back at that and realized how naive, how foolish, how unknowing he was in that moment. So all I'm saying is it's possible that people very close to us, sometimes they're playing church, they're playing morality, they're playing ethics, they're conservative, they think family values are important, they like Jesus, they think his teachings are ethical, and yet there's no resurrection life in them. Now, the other explanation is what you already said. You already offered an alternative, and that is that sometimes people go through a period where they're hurt by church, they're hurt by Christians. I like to say they go dormant for a while. They're numb to all the religiosity within Christianity. And so, because of their hurt, because of their pain, because of their rejection, they, for a time, for a temporary period of time, they sort of reject the Christianity that's around them without rejecting Jesus at the core. Now, I don't know the case for your friend, but I do know that once we're in Christ, he says he'll never leave us. If he never leaves us, if he never forsakes us, if no one can snatch us out of his hand, if he is able to save us completely because he always lives to intercede for us, then that leaves me with two possibilities. Your friend never knew the Lord and was just playing church, or number two, your friend knew the Lord and still does know him, but it's a time where he's just hurt and rejected and is kind of sick of church for a while.